Hello. This vlog is meant for people that question stuff. It is not one supposed to take sides. The debate of science versus religion is pointless. Whatever science discovers will be nullified by a single sentence from a believer. God did it. The dinosaurs. God did it. How about evolution? God did it. How about every damn proof? God made every damn proof. So you see, for the past 3,000 years, maybe more, but this is as far away as historical evidence points, people questioned the validity of the claim. It is fair to assume that for the next 2000 or more years, people will ask that too. Maybe forever. It's practically never ending. Anyone can see that. Don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean we shouldn't question. Questioning brings progress. But some scientists believe that religion is not apt for scientific inquiry. The irony is that when they have this view, they come very close to the religious opinion that states pretty much the same. Religion is impossible to be comprehended by scientific reason. Here both parties seem to agree. Very few scientists have studied the phenomenon so they can find a reason for religious thinking. They have blamed it on primitivism, conservatism and lack of understanding of the scientific process. Well, yes, but what causes conservatism? What are the reasons for reason itself? What causes the scientific inquiry? The need for proven facts that others do not have? Lack of knowledge? Low IQ? You can easily be a low IQ individual and prefer proven facts for the simple fact that it is easier to have others think in your place, because this is what determines low IQ. Blind acceptance. Not belief of any kind. The common error of man is that when repeating what a genius said, he thinks he's actually a genius himself. Einstein was a genius, but not because he was an atheist, but because what he added to human knowledge. Therefore, if you feel smarter by saying, I am an atheist, just like Einstein, it doesn't make you smarter. You wanna be a genius? Go do something. The same goes for the churchgoers actually. It's just as easy to follow a book as to follow limitative scientific demonstration. The individual is passive in both instances. People must question everything if they are to be more than sheep. What does it matter if you're a scientific sheep, limiting your knowledge to current demonstration, or a religious sheep, limiting your knowledge to your favorite book? Why some people wake up and go to lab and others wake up and go to church? People blame ideas, but never ask how the idea appeared in the first place in one's head. To be fair, no one can act 100% according to reason. It would make us computers, not humans. Now, if there are many of you out there that feel the need to be programmed and reprogrammed, either scientifically or religiously, I have nothing more to say. You can quit YouTube, go to your favorite church or laboratory, but some of us feel the need to think before accepting, examine all factors. This is true science. Why should we be afraid of the factors that pop holes in our theories? If you have understood the importance of psychology for our daily lives, be it evolutionary or God-given, if you have observed and acknowledged the intricacies of our human mind. For psychology, the human mind is the object of inquiry. One of the most important things is that it is a priori to science or religion, to ideas of any kind. It is the ultimate observation tool because it goes beyond prejudices like magical thinking or favoring reason and identifies the cause for each. Why does the individual favor one instead of another? This is the ultimate question to be answered. Of course, when science proves something, it is there, unquestionable. But when someone goes further to assume the existence or non-existence of God, that's when psychology kicks in. It is unscientific to assume either of the claims, yet people do that. What is debatable is religion's and science's utility in the context of evolutionary psychology. Does it have any use, any utility? I mean the concept of God itself, not the blind worship of the concept in the context of organized religion of any kind. A Swiss psychologist by the name of Carl Gustav Jung, renowned world psychologist and atheist, said it does. It's remarkable how an atheist scientist arrived at this conclusion. He was a true scientist because he observed, and only observed, and didn't listen to any prejudice of any kind, either religious or scientific. But most definitely, he found out that religion has a positive role in some individuals, not all of them, but proved it. What science and religions do not take into account is the fact that you don't just tell people what to believe and then it will be better. It's not like that. This is based on the 18th century scientific assumption that humans are just empty vessels ready to be filled with information. The more correct information, the more correctly the individual will play a role in society. It's remarkable how 200 years passed and this idea is still popular. If that be the case, science would have not existed in the first place, because all of us would conform to the first theory man has ever heard. God. and that is not the case. Also, we would kill ourselves for what we see in video games. Jung said that people act differently, that the human psyche does not work the same for all individuals. Some are inclined for rational thinking, some for other types of thinking. This doesn't mean one is right and one is wrong. What matters is that it will be a severe blow to human evolution if one type is imposed itself as unquestionable truth. He said there is no such thing as unquestionable. Unquestionable brings about theocracies and dictatorships. He believed that a man should reach his full potential during life in any way he can, and that man doesn't need restrictions. Either the restrictions of church or the restrictions of current scientific reason. He gave the following example. He compared two of his patients, both atheists. One backed his claim scientifically, reasonably. More than that, he made a lot of day-to-day thinking by what Jung called intuitive reason. A healthy man. Nothing to say about that. The other, a totally chaotic individual, didn't actually make decisions according to reason. What puzzled Jung was the question: if this individual has absolutely no understanding of how the scientific process works, how come he is an atheist? Where did he get his information? It was eventually traced to an abusive father. When he grew up, the man had an instinctual hate of the concept of the father, so it's easy to understand how Great Father in the Sky scared the shit out of him. While the first was a healthy, rational man, the other was a psychotic individual. Though they both arrived at the same conclusion, so it became clear to him that there was a difference. Also, it goes to the other way around. He compared two believers. One of them believed in God because it elevated him and gave him comfort. He said that the existence of God gave him the power to go through life, to inspire him because he was a writer. He didn't blindly believe in any church, but rather had his personal spiritual outlook. He felt the need to relate to this concept. It helped him, he said, relate to other human beings. The second one was a literal Bible reader, with floods, big fishes, snakes, apples and all that. Jung observed that while one is limited by the idea of God, the other one expands his creative outlook. The first one read about all kinds of religious aspects, and what amazed Jung the most was the fact that he was open to scientific discovery, because stated that it is the duty of man to find out how God's creation works, no matter what sacred texts say it happened, or when. When one had little to do with reason, the other excelled and read about new discoveries, theories, art, literature, science, spirituality. But Jung also found something weird about the literal believer. He had a rational mind. Not very rational, more like an undeveloped rational mind. But because he didn't use it for questioning due to passiveness, he accepted the Christian doctrine as scientific law. Because for him, there can be only one truth. While the first explored spirituality, the second accepted it as scientific law. Jung arrived at the conclusion that each man possesses qualities that he needs to develop. If you find comfort in mathematical equations, you should go that road, and you will most probably be good at it with no gods. Or if you are a spiritual man, the idea of God can make you evolve, enlighten you. Jung, the atheist, is very well renowned for the fact that he used the potential of the God idea to cure alcoholics that felt powerless to quit drinking. In some people it worked, in some it didn't, but this only proves the differential mindset theory. Some react positive to the concept, while others don't. For Jung it was not so important whether there is a God or not. He just said that his mindset does not feel comforted by such an idea, and it has no use to him. But he recognized the benefacting potential the idea may have on others. He said that humankind didn't evolve just according to scientific demonstrations. Philosophers, not scientists, first broke the church's institutional grip over the people. Epicurus speculated 2000 years ago the existence of atoms. It took science 2000 years to prove this intuition. But nevertheless, this doesn't mean atoms didn't exist in the time of Epicurus. See where I'm going? We are a young species. We have a lot to learn, to uncover, to analyze, to bring humankind to its highest potential. But humankind has a lot of potentials. A potential for science, a potential for art, a potential for philosophy, a potential for loving, caring, nurturing, and whatever. But what do? We debate this who came first, the chicken or the egg. Instead doing what we do best, we spend time picking sides and quarrel, never ever getting anywhere. The hypocrisy is that the struggle is not for knowledge, it's for power. The church wants power, we all know that. The government wants power, we all know that too. I say stop trying to gain power and start developing your own power.